Hello folks, Jonathan Milam here with a review and comparison of two instruments. These are both Olds Recording, marvelous instruments. The Recording Trumpet is from about 52 and the Recording Cornet is from about 59. Olds was putting out some fantastic instruments, 57, 58, 59, right around that period. I've had some magnificent Olds from that time. Okay, the difference between a trumpet and a cornet is actually interesting. Let's start off with the mouthpieces. I'm going to be starting off with the Bach 7C, and the cups on these things should be just about identical. But look at the difference in size. Cornet, trumpet. I feel I have a lot more control with the trumpet, but the more important factor is look at the entry of the mouthpiece where it enters the horn. The cornet is so much smaller. The trumpet is so much larger. Most of us are playing trumpets because trumpets are more popular now, unless you're in a specific band situation. Orchestras, symphony orchestras, most always the trumpet, I believe, as opposed to the cornet, maybe a C trumpet, but it's going to be very similar, maybe even a larger throat or drill size for the C trumpet. But when most of us are used to playing this trumpet mouthpiece and we get onto the cornet, immediately we get stuffed. And I talked to a retired professional trumpeter that had been in the entertainment business for years, and he said, everything I can do on a cornet, I can do on a trumpet, but I can't do everything on a cornet that I can do on a trumpet. So, and I think the reason is he's used to a much greater flow of air with the trumpet. When you get on the cornet, it takes a lot more discipline. It takes a very specific mindset, a lot more finesse, to my way of thinking, to work a cornet. The other thing is, while the cornet entry is very much smaller, when you get to the main tubing of the cornet, you're getting into a .470 bore here, whereas on the trumpet, you're getting .460 towards the end of the horn. Bell size is about the same, the flare, but you're talking a considerable difference over a 3 or 4 hour gig, how much more air the cornet will take from you because it's the larger instrument. Totally different. The cornet has a darker tone because it's conical. It starts small and it ends large, where the trumpet is pretty much the same once you get through the receiver and lead pipe area. Okay, I was going to start off with the 7C in both of these instruments, and we'll just tootle around on an old favorite. Excuse me, let me adjust my volume real quickly. All right, that's my warm-up. Okay, that's enough of that. Try the same thing with the cornet. Should notice a little warmer feel. Okay, so there again, ending up on the cornet. And with the trumpets, what we'll do now, I think, we will just cut to the chase, go with a little deeper mouthpiece. I'm going to be using a Curry BBC cornet piece. I'm going to be using a Trent Austin TATF to give us a very hearty sound. I think the drill on the cornet is slightly bigger, but they're about the closest that I could find. Okay, we'll just stay with the cornet. And we'll tootle with that same song. And the cornet won't be quite as large a throat, and it'll naturally have a little brighter sound. I was going to say brassier, but they're both brass, aren't they? All right, pretty sound on both instruments, isn't it? The Olds recording is, the trumpet is regarded as a slightly brighter horn, definitely good projection, lots of overtones is the feeling, and such a pleasure to have this horn. Came in from 52, you've got your offset valves here as your middle finger's a little longer. They made it a little further from the palm than your first 1 and 3 valves. Just a great instrument. Of course, they did that on both of these. I can't really think of an instance where you'd need a shallow mouthpiece for a trumpet, but in the eventuality that it came up, we'll give you the Dixieland sound. And we'll switch maybe when the Saints go marching in. I played it a few minutes ago. And we'll use this on both of the trumpets. What I'm using is a Reeves piece on the cornet, and I'll use a 42M on the trumpet. And that is the cornet. And we'll play that same thing on the recording trumpet. The Reeves 42M mouthpiece. And we'll try that same ending with the cornet. Okay, two great horns here from the Olds vintage family, Olds Recording Cornet and the trumpet. Thanks for tuning in as always. It's always nice if you can hit that like button, certainly better than the, just focus on the thumbs up. Hope you've enjoyed this. I've got some other things that I'd like to do as far as comparison and playing some of these vintage horns. We've got more of them than we need coming in right now. But it's always a pleasure to share them with you. Hope you enjoyed it. Love the comments that you send, experiences that you've had with the horns. Take care. Do have a great day. Stay safe.